Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Toxic Radio at Night. We're all in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm here to talk about all things toxic and taboo. No topic is off the table. If it's toxic to our families, toxic to our culture, toxic to our country, and toxic to our way of life, we'll talk about it. When all the others decided to go toxic left, we stood firmly right. Greetings from my hideout somewhere in the rural parts of Canada. Hi, this is Denise in Canada. I feel like this message is especially urgent because things are escalating really quickly. I was told it was a conspiracy theory. There's not going to be quarantine camps. They won't haul us off against our will and quarantine us in isolation centers. Well, it's happening. Not only is that happening, but in countries around the world, they're starting to put on tracking devices onto citizens, uncooperative citizens. So this is happening. This has already started and it's going to be escalating really quickly. They may have titled this the new normal. They may have declared that as new normal. No one got to vote on it. No one was asked. No one was consulted. The citizens were ignored. They declared it all on their own. The new world order, the new normal. I realized today, I think it's just code for this is the end times, the apocalypse. Yeah, the people that are very left wing, that are wanting globalization and one world government with one global leader reigning and taking his seat at the United Nations. It's their code, the new normal. But since I was a kid, a very young kid, I was shown the prophecies from thousands of years ago. So I've been preparing for this my entire life. I knew this was coming. So I feel like in some sense I'm ready for it. And I feel really sad for those that aren't. Because I know where this is leading. You know, it's not just these global agendas and the new normal. It's bigger than that. And if you have a hard time understanding it, where the next step that they're not telling you about, this one global leader that will appoint regional leaders over the world, if that's difficult for you to understand, if the prophecies are difficult for you to understand and you can find them in the Old Testament and the New Testament, and especially the book of Revelation, you know, some of us have had our whole lives to study these, and still, yes, we are not perfect and we can't understand them in a perfect way because there are many mysteries in these prophecies that will be revealed to us as time goes along. But what I found, and I've been recommending to a lot of people, is there is this great drama radio series on YouTube. I will put the link in the comments. Listen to that radio series. It breaks it down in a fun, exciting, dramatic way, and it helps to understand in a more simple way the prophecies and where we're at, because we are definitely at the beginning of the apocalypse. Even, realize this, even the left wing, even those that want globalization, even the new world order people have declared this as the apocalypse. They just named it their own name and called it the new normal. So everything that we knew is finished. We are in the end times. And yes, if I am not around to continue to talk to you about this message, I hope that you will at least remember it, even if you disagree with it now. Maybe as time rolls along and maybe if I'm not around to keep talking about it and keep showing it, you'll remember this message and what I'm trying to get across here. And when that happens, realize that you have to make a choice, okay? Because there is just going to be two sides. You can't stay neutral. You won't be able to just stay in the center and say, oh, you know, I'm not picking a side. You are being forced by the left wing to choose a side. You either wear a mask or not. You either are for globalization or not. You are either for the vaccines that track you and chip you, or you're not for them. You're either for Israel or you're not. You're either for Christians or you're against Christians. So there's two sides there. So all the masking people, vaccine people, globalization people, they're against Israel, they're against Christians, they're anti-Christ and the anti-Christ spirit. That is building. Whether you want to admit it or not, that has gotten stronger. Then there's us on the other side. Patriotic people that are for our countries, that are either Christian or will defend Christians. We're either Jewish or we will defend Israel. And we love Jewish people. There's a clear line being drawn. You're going to be on either side. You can't straddle the middle. You can't sit on the fence. All right? So hopefully that makes some sense. Feel free to leave any questions. And we've been saying, yes, we realize that you're being forced to wear a mask. Because if you don't wear a mask, you'll lose your job. Or you won't be able to go get food and groceries and send your kids to school because they are forced to wear a mask. Do you see how quick that was? And even in the smallest sense, this is a test, right? You're being forced. This was even prophesied about. You will be refused to buy or sell, or have your children will be eventually taken away from you if you don't submit and comply to the government. You won't be able to eat, you won't be able to have a home. These decisions aren't going to get easier. These things aren't going away now. This is here to stay. You will be constantly faced with this decision. This was the first one, the first test. Are you going to put on a mask or not? Are you going to trust God for your job, for your food, for everything that you need? Or are you going to submit? I have told people around me, if government Gestapo came in and said, you have to deny Christ, you have to go against the Bible, you have to go against God, or we will shoot you, or we will shoot your family, we'll shoot your parents, we're relatives, whatever. I've already warned the people around me, I will not deny Christ, no matter what. And remember, we all promised, we all swore that if we had lived during the time of the Nazis and Hitler, we would have stood up against him. We would not have let the Jewish people been taken away into concentration camps. We would have stopped it. We promised that. And if you don't know what concentration camps are and what the Holocaust is, I recommend that you research it, watch movies like Schindler's List. But remember, we swore that we would be those people that would have done anything to save the world, to save the Jewish people, to save our country. And already you submitted to the mask. I don't think you were really following through with your promise to do anything to protect those around you, to protect your country, to stand up against a new Gestapo. Hitler may be dead, but the Antichrist spirit lives on, and it is getting stronger. Hitler may have died, but the darkness doesn't die. The evil doesn't die. It's growing and growing and growing. It will continue to grow. So also those of you that think, well, we're going to save the entire country, our whole country will turn around. No, we are headed for bloodshed. We are headed for war. What will happen is the country will clearly divide into two. We will have the us patriots, the patriotic citizens, and the other ones that will go for globalization. We will work hard to bring more of those that are blinded, those that can't see it, into our circle, into seeing what we see, but it's not going to end. It's going to get stronger. We may have to go underground. We may have to hide. Eventually that is coming. That's also been prophesied about. We may get relative peace, but be very wary of any one leader declaring peace, especially if it's coming from the United Nations, because that's been prophesied about. It's a false peace. He'll say that he's the one global leader. He's going to appoint regional leaders, and he'll declare world peace. And it won't be. is going to be a direct attack on patriotic citizens, Christians, and things like that. So I feel like I have to give this warning. I'm trying to get people to understand. Thank you so much for listening, and realize eventually you're going to be forced to draw a line, or you're going to have to go full into submission into what they're bringing in. It's never too late to turn around your life. All right, this has been Toxic Radio.